Good day everyone. Today I will show you how to use input directions to design a complex combo sequence using my Bacon Combo Graph plugin. For example, you can do something like this. 2 line attack, dash back and a line attack. Dash back and a line attack. You will send a flying knee. And if you use heavy attack, it will do a low kick, for example like this. But if you do a dash forward kick, it will do a special kick animation. So this allows you to design a complex combo sequence. With the same move like dash, you will have 4 different directions for you to get creative with it. Before continue to the tutorial, make sure you have the Bacon Combo Graph plugin installed in your project. If you don't have it, I will have a link in the description to my Fab Marketplace where you can download it. So let's dive right into the combo graph to see how it will work. For the flying knee attack, we will have to perform 2 leg attack first. First leg attack here, the second leg attack, and for the third move, the player needs to press the dash backward move. So if player press dash backward, B stand for backward here, or you can see the whole gameplay tag here, which is combo graph.input.dash.b, which is backward. If the player dash backward, it will first trigger the gameplay ability underscore dash first to dash backward, and after dashing backward, it will check for if the player was pressing another leg attack. It will perform a flying knee. Keep in mind that this only be triggered if the player pressing dash backward. If the player pressing dash forward, dash left or dash right, it will get reset to the root node here. For the second example, which is the dash forward kick, we will implement this differently. First, we will wait for the player to press the dash button. If you are not specifying any input direction here, for example, you do not choose any dash dot back, forward, left or right, this will accept all of the direction. So if you press dash back here or dash forward here, it will all go to this node and get triggered. So after it triggered the gameplay ability underscore dash, we will come to this input branch, which is a special node. As you can see in here, it is configured to use the previous input. So basically, it will not wait for the player to make any more input here. It will go back to the previous input branch node, which is this one, and get the value, the input tag that is processed in this input node, and use that value to process itself. So basically, if you're using dash forward here, it will navigate to this execute node, and it also use the dash forward to process this input node. So if you press dash forward here, it will process this node, it will come to this node, and if you have the dash forward pin, it will come to the next input branch node. This node is normal. It will wait for the player to make a special attack move. So if the player press it, it will trigger the unique kick animation. So in order to use the previous input here, we will go to the right panel. At the use input history, we will set it to 1 for the default node. You can see here the use input history is 0. It will use the current input and will not use the input history. Only set to 1, this green text will pop up and warning you that you are using the previous input, which is the input of this node. So let's try it out. We will first perform a flying knee attack. We will do 2 leg attack, dash backward, and another leg attack to do a flying knee. Like dash backward and another leg attack. Let's do that again. Dash backward, another leg attack. And now we will do the dash forward kick. If we use dash forward, press kick, you can see that it will navigate to this node. If I use dash backward and then I use kick, it won't go to this node. This node will be discarded and get reset to the root node. Let's try it out. Dash backward, kick. As you can see, only the dash forward will get this node executed and check for the special tag. If I use dash backward, dash left, dash right, it won't go to that input branch node. Only if I use dash forward and special tag. In order to use directional input in your combo graph, you will have to do some additional setup in your project. So first, make sure that you create the input tag here. For example, combo graph.input.dash, and then create 4 more directional tag based on that tag. So I will create combo graph.input.dash. F for forward, B for backward, L for left, R for right. I will create 4 more gameplay tag here. And then I will add the directional tag into the input branch that I showed you how to do it before. After that, you will go to where you place your trigger input function. This can be in your player controller blueprint class or your character blueprint class. So let me explain this code for you. Whenever the player presses the dash button, it will first get the pawn input direction, and then it will based on the pawn input direction, it will select the directional tag provided in this array. If the input direction is forward, it will choose this tag to trigger the input. Respectively, for the dash.right, dash.back, dash.left, it will choose the corresponding directional input tag based on the input directions and trigger the input. So basically, to do this, first you will get the character pawn, and then we will use the get pawn input direction. This is the function from the combo graph helper. We can get it by get pawn input direction, this one, and then we will break the vector and we will get the x and the y, and then we will add the directional input tag into that array. Make sure that you have to specify them like this. The first element must be the forward directional tag, the second must be the right, the third must be the back, and the fourth must be the left. So it should start with forward and clockwise, which is right and back and left. If you switch this up, this will be incorrect. After you make the directional array, you will pass it into the function, which is get tag direction. This is the functions from the combo graph helper. You can get it by get tag in direction and split this struct bin, and then you connect the x and the y into here. And after you have that set up, you will inject this input tag into the trigger input function, and that's it. So after you set up, every time you press dash, it will trigger either dash forward, dash right, dash backward, dash left based on your pawn input direction. In order to use input directions in your gameplay ability to select between different animation sections like dash forward, dash backward, left or right, make sure that you are using combat ability data payload here, and then go into your ability class that you are using to trigger here, which is this one. Override the start ability functions. Make sure to call the parent before you do anything. Break the context struct here. which is the data payload here, and make sure you break it into combat ability data payload. With this struct break, you can get the player input direction here, and then you can use the direction to get the direction name to set the montage to jump to the correct section. So you break the vector, plug the x and the y in, and it should return the correct section name here. Back, left, or right. It will jump to the corresponding input direction. Directional input works on the player character and also the AI seamlessly. All you need to do is to specify the directional input in the play combo behavior tree task here. If you want to do the flying knee like I did for the AI, you can specify 2 normal attack here, and then you specify the dash dot back here, and it will perform dashing backward and then performing another attack to make a flying knee. And that's all.